If you listened to our episode about Rachel Nickell, then you already know this name, Robert Napper. He's the man police should have been looking at while they were trying to make Colin Stagg confess to a murder he didn't commit. But while researching Rachel's case, I kept coming back to something. Robert Napper wasn't some completely unknown predator who suddenly appeared on Wimbledon Common one morning. His name had already reached police, more than once. And somehow, Robert Napper kept slipping through. So tonight, we're going deeper into the man we first encountered in the Rachel Nickell episode. Because Rachel was only one chapter in a much larger and deeply disturbing story. This is the dark story of Robert Napper. Welcome to the podcast You Can't Unhear. Robert Clive Napper was born in February 1966 and grew up in southeast London. His childhood was deeply unstable. His father was reportedly violent toward his mother. His parents separated when Robert was young, and Napper struggled socially. He was bullied. He became increasingly isolated, and according to later psychiatric evidence, he experienced sexual abuse during childhood. As an adult, Napper would be diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia and Asperger syndrome, terminology used at the time. His psychiatric illness became severe. He experienced delusions, including extraordinary beliefs about his identity, wealth, and accomplishments. But mental illness alone doesn't explain Robert Napper. Millions of people live with serious psychiatric disorders without becoming violent. What matters here is what Napper actually began doing. And by 1989, women in southeast London were already in danger. A 31-year-old woman was inside her home near Plumstead Common when a masked man entered. He was carrying a knife, and he raped her. Then, something happened that should have changed everything. A few months later, Robert Napper's mother, Pauline, called police. She told them her son had admitted raping a woman on Plumstead Common. Think about that. This wasn't an anonymous tip. It wasn't someone saying, "He gives me a strange feeling." His own mother was reportedly telling police, "My son says he raped someone." But investigators failed to connect that information to the attack. Napper wasn't questioned about it. And he remained free. Over the following years, women around southeast London were being attacked. The crimes became associated with what was known as the Green Chain Walk, a network connecting parks, woodland, and open spaces across southeast London. Some victims were attacked outside, others were stalked. Police eventually believed the offender sometimes watched women and learned their routines before attacking. Young mothers were among his targets, and children could become part of the terror. The attacker used knives, restraint, and overwhelming fear to control his victims. By March 1992, the attacks were accelerating. On March 10th, a 17-year-old girl survived an attempted rape on the Green Chain Walk. 8 days later, another 17-year-old was attacked at knife point. Then, on May 24th, a 22-year-old mother was raped. Her child was with her. Police were searching for the Green Chain rapist, but they still didn't realise. Robert Napper was right in front of them. And this is where our previous episode intersects with this story. 23-year-old Rachel Nickell was walking across Wimbledon Common with her 2-year-old son, Alex. She was attacked, sexually assaulted and stabbed 49 times. Alex survived. Rachel didn't. And as we covered before, police eventually became fixated on another man, Colin Stagg. But while investigators were constructing an elaborate undercover operation around Stagg, Robert Napper was about to appear on police radar again and again. August 27th, 1992. A neighbour contacted police. They thought Robert Napper resembled the photo fit of the green chain rapist. Police went to Napper. They wanted a biological sample. Napper didn't show up. Then, on September 3rd, another person contacted police. Again, someone believed Napper resembled the man they were hunting. Police went back. Again. Napper failed to provide the requested sample. And somehow, the investigation didn't close around him. Instead, on October 24th, Napper was eliminated from the green chain inquiry. Why? One major reason was his height. Napper was around 6'2". Investigators believed the rapist was shorter. And despite multiple people pointing toward him, that discrepancy helped remove him from consideration. It's getting so frustrating at this point, to be honest with you. Until 3 days later, something almost unbelievable happened. On October 27th, Robert Napper was arrested for possession of a firearm and ammunition. A search uncovered weapons, but police also found something far more interesting: a London A to Z map. Locations associated with sexual attacks had been marked. There were also writings concerning methods of restraining people. According to later reviews, police had essentially found material inside the home of a suspected predator that should have demanded much closer scrutiny. But the connection still wasn't made. Napper received a short prison sentence for the weapons offence. Then he was released. And the warning signs continued. April 1993. Two boys discovered a container buried on Winns Common. Inside was a handgun. Police examined it and found fingerprints. Robert Napper's fingerprints. Still, he wasn't pursued as the green chain attacker. Then came July 1993. A husband and wife reportedly saw Napper behaving like a voyeur, watching a woman. Police questioned him. An officer even wrote that Napper should be considered as a possible rapist. Then he was released. 4 months later, Robert Napper escalated again. November 3rd, 1993. 27-year-old Samantha Bisset was living in Plumstead with her 4-year-old daughter, Jazmine. Napper entered their home. What happened inside was extraordinarily violent. Samantha was sexually attacked and killed. Jazmine was also sexually assaulted and suffocated. I'm not going into the more graphic details. What matters is that the violence demonstrated an extreme escalation. And this time, Robert Napper left something behind. Fingerprints. Investigators eventually identified Napper's fingerprints at the Bisset home. A trainer print also corresponded with him, and DNA testing connected him to green chain sexual attacks. Finally, the different versions of Robert Napper were becoming one person. The quiet man, the weapons offender, the suspected voyeur, the green chain predator, and now the killer of Samantha and Jazmine Bisset. Napper was arrested, but something else was happening simultaneously. Colin Stagg was still being prosecuted for Rachel Nickell's murder. The real killer had finally been captured, and investigators still hadn't connected him to Rachel. On October 9th, 1995, Robert Napper appeared at the Old Bailey. He pleaded guilty to the manslaughter of Samantha and Jazmine on the grounds of diminished responsibility. He also admitted 1 rape and 2 attempted rapes connected to the Green Chain attacks. Doctors described him as highly dangerous, and he was ordered to be detained indefinitely at Broadmoor High Security Hospital. By this point, Napper was known to be a killer and serial sexual affection. So investigators finally interviewed him about Rachel Nickell. He denied involvement, and without sufficient forensic evidence, Rachel's murder remained unsolved. But something had been preserved from Wimbledon Common. When Rachel's body was examined in 1992, investigators had collected microscopic biological material. At the time, there wasn't enough to identify anyone. Technology simply wasn't sensitive enough. Years passed. Then, forensic science caught up. In 2004, a private laboratory examining evidence from Rachel's case obtained a DNA result. It pointed toward Robert Napper. Investigators interviewed him again at Broadmoor in 2006. He still denied it. Then, on December 4th, 2007, Robert Napper was formally charged with Rachel Nickell's murder. 16 years after Rachel died, Napper returned to court. He pleaded not guilty to murder, but guilty to manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. The prosecution accepted the plea. Napper would remain detained indefinitely at Broadmoor. The judge told him, "You are, on any view, a very dangerous man." So, how many victims? This part needs some caution. Robert Napper was not convicted of dozens of rapes. He admitted specific Green Chain offences for which evidence existed, but investigators suspected the real number was dramatically higher. At one point, police believed he could have been responsible for another 83 sexual assaults along the Green Chain route. Another contemporary report said investigators had identified 106 incidents involving 86 women they believed could be connected to him. Those suspicions aren't the same thing as convictions, but they show the scale investigators eventually considered possible. And Napper reportedly had a very convenient rule. He wouldn't admit an offence unless police had forensic evidence connecting him to it, meaning the complete number of his victims may never be known. Whenever someone commits crimes this extreme, there's a temptation to search backward, looking for the moment that supposedly explains everything. Robert Napper certainly had a disturbing history. What experts examining Napper's case emphasised was a complicated combination of factors, including profound isolation, sexual sadism, serious untreated psychiatric illness, and increasingly violent offending. And there was another factor that can't be ignored. For years, he wasn't stopped. Every successful attack, every missed lead, every time police attention moved somewhere else, gave him another opportunity. Robert Napper remains detained indefinitely at Broadmoor. According to a 2013 report, Robert Napper faced threats in Broadmoor, but was considered a model patient who enjoyed sports and Scrabble. Colin Stagg, a previous suspect, told the outlet in 2021 that he favoured the death penalty for Napper, who remains a notorious UK figure. Because on the other hand, Rachel Nickell, Samantha Bisset and 4-year-old Jazmine never got the lives that should have followed. And countless women were left carrying memories of attacks investigators would later suspect were connected to the same man. What do you think? Do you agree with Stagg? Anyway, thanks for joining me tonight. What a dark, twisted story. Please subscribe if you enjoy true crime stories like there are new episodes every day. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next episode of the podcast. you can't unhear.